The crying cowboy fans could not bear the pressure and became an internet sensation. In a blink, you go from a sad fan to a meme. That's what happened Sunday in the fourth quarter of the San Francisco 49ers Dallas Cowboys fan. CBS found her and she was unable to contain herself with the home team down 6 points and 4:05 left. It's only a matter of time before she winds up being a coveted interview. Oh boy, crying cowboy fan. The internet will feast. Pic.twitter.com YPUFMCSDW. Jenna Lane, ESPN, January 17, 2022. Perfectly acceptable response for anyone who has the over 51. Pic.twitter.com/SusieRLaughsick. Jimmy Traina, January 17, 2022. Alexander Mitrovic led Fulham back to the top of the list for the third time this season. Alexander Mitrovic's remarkable goal-scoring run shows no sign of slowing, and neither does Fulham. For the second time this season, the striker scored a first-half hat-trick, his third treble of the campaign, while Marco Silva's side made it 13 goals in 2 games, following their 7-0 win at Reading last Tuesday. The contest was decided in a thrilling opening half that produced 7 goals. Bristol City twice took the lead through Antoine Semenyo before the home side scored 4 times in the final 14 minutes before the break, with Mitrovic claiming his third and first-half added time after Niskan's Cabano and Fabio Carvalho had added their names to the sheet. Cabano scored his second early in the second half, and the outcome ensured that Fulham took full advantage of Bournemouth's defeat away to Luton Town earlier in the day, to go 2 points clear at the head of the Sky Bet Championship table. Mitrovic's contribution inevitably stood out, but his scoring exploits this season are mirroring those of the team as a whole. Fulham have now scored 64 goals in 25 championship matches, 20 more than Blackburn Rovers, the division's second highest scorers. Mitrovic has 27 of those, although Silva was keen to point out that he would be just as happy with less eye-catching victories. I told my players they will not always score 6 or 7 or 3 goals, we have to win football matches, the Fulham head coach said. Of course, if you ask me if I'm happy with the score, it's the way you like to do it. He added of his Serbian forward, the way Mitrovic scored some goals this afternoon was Mitrovic, nothing more to say. You know his skills, his quality, what he's capable of doing in the box. Our front line is doing really well. Semenyo produced fine finishes of his own to put his side ahead, first in the 7th minute and then again in the 29th after Mitrovic had headed a 21st minute equalizer. Fulham then found their feet with Cabano's 31st minute header drawing them level once again before an excellent solo run and shot from Carvalho gave the home side the lead. Mitrovic scored another towering header to make it 4-2, and even had time to complete his hat-trick with a well-placed strike before the break. Cabano's close-range shot on the turn capped the win shortly before the hour mark. We surrendered too easily, Nigel Pearson, the City manager, said. There are no guarantees, but with the firepower they have, that will weigh heavily in their favor when it comes to promotion. Star man Alexander Mitrovic. Fulham, M. Rodak 6, K. Tet 7, T. Adarabioyo 6, T. Ream 6, A. Robinson 7, H. Reed 7, T. Kearney 7, H. Wilson 7, F. Carvalho 8, N. Cabano 8, A. Mitrovic 9. Bristol City, M. O'Leary 6, T. Cullis 5, Z. Viner 5, C. Pring 5, J. De Silva 5, H. Masengo 6, A. Scott 6, A. King 6, C. O'Dowda 5, A. Semenyo 7, A. Wyman 5. Booked Pring, Scott. Novak Djokovic. We may have seen the last Serbian at the Australian Open. For a brief period this afternoon, all was calm at Melbourne Park. With no word of any developments in the Novak Djokovic saga, the focus of those in attendance was on the practice sessions and qualifying matches taking place across the many courts here. Shortly before 6 p.m. local time, mobile phones were suddenly being feverishly passed around in the stands as news of the second cancellation of the Serbian's Australian visa came through. It seemed inevitable since Monday that this course of action would be followed by the Immigration Minister Alex Hawke, but there was still a sense of shock given that tennis has never quite known anything like this. It is hard to overestimate the ramifications that this will have for the sport. The course of tennis history could well be altered as Djokovic now looks set to be denied the opportunity here to win a 21st Grand Slam men's singles title, which would have given him sole ownership of the record from his rivals Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. If a 3-year visa ban is imposed, then it is quite feasible that the 9-times Australian Open champion will never again appear at his favorite tournament. He turns 35 in May. Australia cancels Djokovic's visa for second time. If Djokovic continues to refuse a COVID-19 vaccine, then he is surely going to run into further difficulties on the tour over the coming months. A growing number of tournaments across the world are introducing mandatory requirements for all competitors to be jabbed. It remains to be seen whether Djokovic has the will and patience to follow complex medical exemption processes in other countries after what he has gone through in Australia. Djokovic's name will remain in this year's Australian Open draw for now, as organizers wait to discover how his legal team will respond to Hawke's decision. Unlike Wimbledon, where the defending champion plays in the opening match on centre court, the top half of the Australian Open draw can be scheduled on day 2, meaning that Djokovic could potentially play his first-round match on Tuesday evening if an appeal is somehow successful. Insiders with knowledge of immigration issues believe this result is now unlikely. While Djokovic triumphed with his first appeal based on a procedural technicality, in which the Federal Circuit Court ruled that he was not given enough time to respond to his deportation notice at Melbourne Tullamarine Airport, overturning a decision by a federal government minister is more challenging. Hawke took 4 days to consider the matter, which suggests that he ensured his grounds for cancelling Djokovic's visa were rock solid. A standard process, usually used for withdrawals through injury, will be followed if Djokovic's name has to be removed from the number 1 seed position in the draw. If this is done before the first order of play is released on Sunday, then the number 5 seed Andrei Rublev will take the slot at the top of the draw sheet. The number 17 seed Gael Monfils is moved into Rublev's original slot, while Alexander Bublik becomes the number 33 seed in the position vacated by Monfils. A player who lost in the final round of qualifying will then be given a second chance as a lucky loser to complete the field. Former Viking LB says Kirk Cousins can be released after Mike Zimmer leaves. There are a lot of differing opinions when it comes to quarterback Kirk Cousins' fit with the Minnesota Vikings. It's a strange situation to be in for a player that's thrown for 4,221 yards and 33 touchdowns. But you can count former Vikings linebacker Aaron Henderson among the believers in the 2-time Pro Bowler. In a social media post, he put the onus on Zimmer for all of the team's previous struggles and even predicted a much improved version of Cousins in 2022. Y'all gonna love Kirk off his leash. I know y'all seen what kind of ship Zim was running. No wonder everyone underperformed, Henderson posted. Y'all gonna love Kirk off his leash. I know y'all seen what kind of ship Zim was running. No wonder everyone underperformed. Aaron Henderson, January 17, 2022. After Zimmer was fired as head coach by the Vikings, linebacker Eric Kendricks talked about a fear-based culture not working for the team. When asked about his personal relationship with Zimmer, he put the ball in his former coach's court to answer that question. It'll be interesting to see how the team performs with a new coach overseeing things. Of course, there are still many of the opinion that Zimmer didn't deserve to get fired after 8 years with the team. There's plenty of blame to go around with the Vikings missing the playoffs in consecutive seasons, but it shouldn't all land solely in the lap of the head coach. NFL ratings. Cowboy, 49ers game provides monster numbers. It was a bold strategy, pairing America's team with one of its classic rivals in a marquee time slot, and it paid off huge in NFL rating. Cowboys vs. 49ers, the centerpiece of Super Wild Card Weekend and one of the weirdest games of the season, delivered an impressive number, 41.5 million viewers, the most watched wild card game in 7 years. The game also included a corresponding broadcast on Nickelodeon that featured in-game enhancements like gargantuan slime monsters. The Nickelodeon broadcast drew 1.33 million viewers, a decline from last year's Bears-Saints game that had 10 million fewer overall viewers. Clearly, young viewers weren't enticed by the prospect of the rematch of two longtime rivals. Overall, the 5 weekend games averaged 31 million viewers. All 5 totals marked ratings increases of at least 16% over 2020's numbers. 49ers/Cowboys, 41.5 M Eagles/Buccaneers, 30.4 M Steelers/Chiefs, 28.9 M Raiders/Bengals, 27.7 M Pats/Bills, 26.4 M. Sports TV ratings, January 19, 2022. 3 of the 5 games were blowouts, with 2, the Bills and Bucs wins, effectively wrapped up before halftime. The fact that they retained strong numbers without competing games is a testament to the strength of postseason football, and an obvious rebuttal to all the proclamations that the league was doomed when it clashed with former President Donald Trump in the late 2010s. As always, it's worth remembering that unless you are an advertiser or a broadcaster, NFL ratings have no real impact on your fandom or viewing opportunities. The NFL is in no danger of being relegated to pay-per-view or off-brand channels. However, ratings still provide an interesting metric for the interest of casual, uncommitted NFL fans, exactly the ones the league needs to maintain and build. The Cowboys' early departure will take a chunk of those casual viewers, but more so than most leagues, the NFL has a national fan base, one that will tune in no matter which teams reach the playoffs. A Cincinnati-San Francisco Super Bowl may not draw the on-field interest of, say, Bucs Chiefs or Packers Bills, but any combination of the 8 remaining teams will pull in big numbers. As the world returns to something approaching normalcy, NFL ratings are doing the same. Jay Busby is a writer for Yahoo Sports. Follow him on Twitter at @JBusby or contact him at j.busby@yahoo.com.